After a year of making 20K a month as a barber, you look back and you're not proud of your actions. You're like, I didn't even achieve anything. I had no relationships. The girl that I was with, that I loved, that fell through. Me and my mom weren't close. Like no real brotherhood. So I was like, well, I just traded everything just to make sure I said yes to every haircut. That was literally the worst times of my life. Worse than the moldy, flooded basement with the cockroaches, bro. I was in a penthouse in West Hollywood paying $6K a month as a barber. 22 years old, making 20K a month, 100K Instagram followers. All the stuff I thought I wanted, but it didn't bring the fulfillment. Oh, all I have to do to go viral every day is post another hair falling off video. I was doing that for years, but my conscience kept telling me, Joel, you better coach people, bro. You better answer those DMs. There's people asking you for help, how you got to where you got to, and you ignore them. So for myself, I had a lot of fears. I was afraid to announce being a coach. What if, I don't know, people hate on me? What if nobody responds positively right away? I don't want people to be talking about my coaching program wasn't worth what they paid. It's all selfish. Most of the fears are selfish, man. Top. I had it backwards. Everybody sees top barbers, right? Growing up my whole journey, I had it backwards. I thought I could just be the man. At 18 years old, 9 years ago, I saw the Here in My Garage YouTube ad, Tai Lopez. And he said, here in my garage, I got my Lambo here in Hollywood Hills. But what's even more important is knowledge. A lot of people don't like this guy, I don't know, but he's what got me into realizing online coaching was even existence, right? And immediately I knew I wanted to coach online. I started trying. But I would always self-sabotage. I didn't realize what was happening. I didn't understand the universal laws like the law of mutual exchange, cause and effect, reap what you sow, as above, so below. There it is. So for me, I was chasing a result externally that I didn't build internally. So I was like an insecure kid. I told you I didn't have a dad. So I was trying to prove myself to the world. When I'd meet people, I kind of look down and be nervous, and I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I used to say, for sure. When people would ask me questions, Joel, how's it going, man? For sure. That's all I could say. When I moved to California, that shop I was in, I was around a bunch of grown-ass, successful men, and I was just so nervous all the time, like a shell of myself. And I wanted to be outspoken, but every time I tried, there was like something pulling me back, you know? And so I was chasing a result externally that I didn't have internally, and it was money. I was really just after financial, material world success. I tried a marketing agency. I bought the Tai Lopez course. And I just bought a bunch of other courses, affiliate marketing, Amazon FBA, and they were all preaching like a get-rich-quick scheme where you could overnight, within your first month, get rich. And I was like, oh, that's all I need. Let me just, I made some money cutting hair, then I put it into that. Every time, I never thought barbering would get me where I wanted to go. Then I tried Amazon FBA, and then I tried trading crypto and stocks, which is where I lost all my money. And this video was posted to YouTube October 4th, 2017, 8 years ago. And I'm teaching it before I even did it. YouTube sponsors, affiliates, coaching, info product. But I knew that's what I wanted to do eventually. And I eventually achieved the stuff I wanted to do. But what the problem was with chasing down money, and eventually you catch up to it. I chased down the result, but they were all fleeting, like here and then gone. Once again, cut celebrities, but I was never able to build like a real success off of anything. The younger version of me would have thought that would feel amazing, to cut celebrities, to Babeless Pro or whatever. But I never got the fulfillment that I thought I was after the whole time. It was just like a hamster wheel, never ending. You chase one more achievement, you get it, and you feel worse than when you started. That's what my experience was. And then by 22, 25, I had caught up to the result externally that I had not yet built internally. And those were the worst times of my life. There's nothing more depressing, more demoralizing than chasing an external result, like 20K a month as a barber, and then after a year of making 20K a month as a barber, you look back and you're not proud of your actions. You're like, I didn't even achieve anything. I had no relationships. The girl that I was with, that I loved, that fell through. Me and my mom weren't close, like no real brotherhood. So I was like, well, I just traded everything just to make sure I said yes to every haircut. I said no to everything else, my personal life, mental health, spiritual health, right, relationships. That was literally the worst times of my life. Worse than the moldy, flooded basement with the cockroaches, bro. I was in a penthouse in West Hollywood paying $6K a month as a barber. 22 years old, making 20K a month, 100K Instagram followers. All the stuff I thought I wanted. But it didn't bring the fulfillment. Worst times of my life. So I redlined. After years of ignoring my conscience and looking for happiness the same place I left it, to the point I crashed out and completely destroyed my life. The conscience, Wes Watson calls it the authentic voice of God. So it's your intuition. The Creator speaks to you, but we can't really hear it if we're partaking in vices, if we're overeating. Like, I always eat steak and eggs. I don't want to eat carbs. Like, at the dinner today, I didn't have any of the potatoes, because even that will, like, bog me down. And once you get to a certain level, there's some vices that people would not think is a vice, you know? I'm not even sure what an example is. You got me? If you're not wrestling with your conscience, you aren't favored by God. That's a quote I just heard. All we have to do is listen to the internal voice. Like, your heart knows the answer. You literally get to your best life if you listen to your heart. But it's not easy to do, though. You can be swayed. I was swayed and tempted by, all I have to do to go viral every day is post another hair falling off video. I was doing that for years, but my conscience kept telling me, Joel, you better coach people, bro. You better answer those DMs. There's people asking you for help, how you got to where you got to, and you ignore them. So the guilt got to a certain level. Everything crashed out in my life. I was so adamant about getting money that I would hear about a Shiba coin or a whatever, Doge coin or whoever, and I would put my hard-earned barber money into it, not knowing a damn thing about it. And then, I'd just wait to hear what my client told me, my rich crypto client. Multiple women, drugs, alcohol, procrastination, overconsumption of food. I had to remove everything that caused regret. And I stepped in the mirror and identified what actions needed to be replaced to become a worthy advocate of the message being delivered. So a lot of guys in here say they're ready to coach. That mirror is going to tell you the truth if you're ready to coach. You have to listen to whatever the mirror tells you. Oh, shoot. My students are going to feel that I'm not congruent with what I'm saying. So I have to actually live it. And that was something I wasn't ready to do. So for years, I didn't become a coach. Why I'm so passionate about helping you guys become coaches? Because I literally wasted at least 4 years where I was ready, results-wise. People were asking for help. But I was so insecure, so not listening to my inner voice, cutting out the reasons why I didn't have the confidence. 2 ways to enter flow state. Why is flow state important? Because every day, if we don't get into flow state, we just are like degenerates. Like, I don't know, I wish we were all just made perfect. No, we gotta get right. Like, every morning, I just, phone on airplane mode, I fast, I just have like a protein shake, water and protein powder, and I just read, journal, pray, surrendering. Like, you're just giving it up to whatever you believe in the universe. Like, guide me. I'm yours. I'm not living for me anymore. I tried to do it my way. Chasing money as a barber, that was, after a while, I was like, bro, I'm chasing pennies. I had $1 million business waiting on me to get out of my own way. Chasing 20K months as a barber. There was $1 million business waiting on me. Becoming the source of what you seek is the second way to get into flow state every day. And they just shared it. They want to take what they learned and help others. Whenever you guys are stuck, down, we would say that's selfish because everybody in this room has something they could share, help people with. And whenever you begin to help somebody, you immediately leave your own selfish inward dialogue in your brain, and you're like, wow, I'm actually making a difference. That feels way better than some haircut. Like, I heard a quote from Vic Blends long ago when I was chasing more price raises. It's like, I got to 200. What else is there? How much more can I charge for a haircut? Sure, I could keep going, but what's the purpose? And he said in a video interview, when he shared any piece of advice or wisdom in a video and it went viral, the impact was magnified 10,000 times more than a viral haircut video. And that's when he started building not only impact, but he said it built his brand because he became known as a blue ocean, somebody who gives value. There's 1,000 million barbers who make barber videos. And so becoming the source of what you seek, flow state. I told you guys I got to 20K a month and it was like the worst thing that ever happened to me. The money in my bank account, I was on track for the year and how much I made that month, week, used to rule my life. And once I achieved all my initial material life goals, I realized they meant nothing without God and purpose. And yet I realized the only true validation I felt in my heart was after a full day of not breaking character. So who here feels like their character has to go to a whole nother level to get their goal? So for myself, I had a lot of fears. Fear of dropping my main stream of income, barbering. I just dropped it. I just said, I'm retiring. There's a barber in LA, goes by Chris. Some of you guys know him. I said, hey, bro, I'm calling it quits. So all my clients, I'm going to send them to you. And I was afraid to announce being a coach. What if, I don't know, people hate on me? What if nobody responds positively right away? I had a fear of someone paying me and not being able to over-deliver. I was like, man, that's my brand. I heard Mario say this before. I care about my image and my brand. I don't want people to be talking about my coaching program wasn't worth what they paid. Fear of how to make something other than haircut videos content. Fear of telling team, sending out outbound messages. I don't want to be the guy that sent out a message. Speaking on camera. It's all selfish. Most of the fears are selfish, man. Like if you look back at your life, you're gonna be like, damn, that's what was holding me back. Fear of getting on a one-on-one. I don't know. Like, what if he asked me a question? I don't know what to say. Like, answer his question on the spot. A lot of little things will hold me back. Fear of delegating, fear of leadership, fear of asking the hard questions on a sales call. So Wall is the king of that. Fear of investing in myself. We conquered that. We just invested $40K in a new coach last week. Fear of spending money on ads. We spent, I think, $15K so far on ads this year. Fear of what people would think of my ads, calling me a scammer guru. Now I'm like, bring it on. It makes it go viral. Fear of getting a setter. So if you do all these things the right way, there's no reason to be afraid. Fear of getting a VA. My VA, bro, I can't wait to show you guys this video. She told me her goal for the year was to get a motorcycle. That was her vision. She was like, Joel, I just want to get a motorcycle. She just got it like last week, like 2 days ago. So I'm going to show you guys a video of that. Fear of getting my own coaches. Fear of asking clients to renew or ascend. Fear of what to do with the money once we start making 100K a month. Then what? Last time I had 20K, it ruined me. So there's a quote, money doesn't change you. It just brings out who you really are. So I was really not ready for 20K a month as a barber, right? So I was like, what if I'm really not ready for 100? It's going to be even worse. And that was the worst shit of my life. So I don't want to even make 100K because that means I'm going to be back in Ohio. I don't know. I was afraid. Fear of the unknown. Fear of taxes. So I had a $60,000 tax bill as a barber in 2021, paid it 2022. That pretty much just made me want to like stop. I was like, what's the point of this? I learned a lot through that. But again, I was like, Brett, if I make 100K a month with coaching, how much taxes is that going to be? I don't even know Uncle Sam. Who is that guy? What's he doing in my pockets? Fear of tracking numbers. I just didn't want to look at the tracking sheets. Fear of posting income on social media. When you're a barber, you don't have to post your income. As a coach, it's beneficial, not just to you, but so everybody can see what's possible. None of this is selfish. It's just inspirational purposes only. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get out of your own way. Fear of hosting mastermind events. Fear of my family seeing me balling out and asking for money and how to have that conversation. Has anybody ever thought about that? Like once I start really blowing up, posting my wins online, and then family members see that, how will I talk to them about it? What if they ask to hold $1? No one's thought that? Like I used to think all the time. This failure time has been my biggest blessing in disguise. Guys, I went 100K in debt. No one knew this when I announced to become a coach. At that time, I was recovering from being 100K in debt, made a few choices that were all money focused. And it was all just because I was so insecure, so needing validation to prove to the world. Like, guys, look, I went on this journey, and I want to show you guys the trophy from the journey so that you congratulate me. I couldn't congratulate myself. So 100K in debt. This math doesn't even add up, but somewhere around there, like I said in the video, I lost count. Once I hit like 75K in debt, it was too painful to look at it. Somewhere around 10K I lost in crypto, 30K stocks. I bought a car and then traded it back in, lost 35K on that, and then the 60K taxes. So how does that even work? Because when I was in the basement, at least I wasn't broke. 3 years later, 5 years later, after all that effort, I'm 100K in the hole. Like, where'd all the work go? This is what I have to show for it? It was the worst time of my life, but the best time of my life. I was skipping the gym. What got me here? I literally couldn't read a book. So if you put me a book in front of me, I would read one line and then forget what I read. Like my brain was fried. I had like TikTok brain. I was just, it was bad, bro. It was real bad. And I had no brotherhood. I just felt shame and guilt every day for wasting my life, wasting my potential. I was smoking. There's one story that I do want to tell. So Big Blends and I met when he was like 19, I was 20. He had like 20K followers on IG, 30, 40K, I don't know. And we had just both started. We met at a barber event. We couldn't get in because we were so young to the like after party. So me and him were kicking it at a pancake spot. And I just remember him and I telling each other our goals. And I used to compare myself to him forever after that. So one day I'm watching his video and he's telling his story about how he's doing what he's doing. And I'm so depressed that I didn't become like Vic Blends. That I'm away walking to lunch. I'm eating the opposite of how I eat now. I was eating like pasta. I don't even know, like just carbs. No, I didn't understand macros, so there was no fitness journey at the time. I'm just like a pleasure indulging type of meal, right? And then I'm walking home, bro, I literally cried in public. Like like just busting out crying for no reason other than that I'm like, I just hate my life. Like, I don't know what to do to fix it. And at the time, Anthony used to call me like every day, every week. Yo, bro, man, you're sitting on a gold mine, man. Like, don't you know how many people will look up to you? I couldn't see it. So I don't know what was that, like months you would call me?
Yeah, it's probably like 3 to 4 months.
He would just call me every day, and I'm just like, bro, I don't want to hear that. Like, my life sucks. I didn't tell him that. He probably never knew this stuff. I didn't tell anybody. But on the way home from that food court, public me crying session, there's a dispensary on the way home. So I stop in there and buy pre-rolled joints. And then I just go home and smoke it. And I told myself, like, I'll just hit like a couple puffs a day, right? It turned into not just on the weekend, every day of the week, but instead of a couple puffs, I would just face it. And then it went from like not just at night to like in the morning and night. And then like, as long as I'm not doing a haircut right after I'll smoke, I don't know, bro. I just started like coping, you know? The exact opposite version of who you see me as now. I went to the other side. I took a trip to Colombia with a few people, and we had ourselves a time out there. That was literally probably the worst like week of my life. The week after that as well. Has anybody heard of like karmic debt? Like God is always watching. You pay a price for your actions during and after. I got like the worst sickness I ever felt. Like I literally felt like I was dying, like on my deathbed. There's an S on the end, right? It's not just once. Like it was ridiculous. It was like 10 days of debauchery, hedonistic black hole it was terrible. And so that basically what it did is it showed me what I'm not. You guys want to find out who you are? One really good way to do it is find out who you're not. You know, preferably don't go through it, but if you do, the pain that's attached to it, you'll never forget. It's not something you read in a book. Okay, so until I learned to love the work, I could never know love at all. You guys probably think I mean material world work. What work? The internal work. That makes you the individual that can guide others. All right, so I had always felt that calling, but until I pushed myself to do it. So this is what no one will see, but I went through a phase of waking up at 2:45 a.m. with this crazy motherfucker right here. And I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year, I'll wake up that early, 3, 4, 5 a.m. So bro, I'm literally crying. I would just go to the gym, hit the sauna, and then everything on my conscience, I would write it, all the stuff that I regretted. So I did this for like 6 months to a year, and this was like my inner work phase, right? And remember at the beginning I said I had it all backwards, TOP, transcend, then online presence, then personal development? No. You guys want to be a coach? Do the personal development first, build the online presence, and then it'll be no problem. People will be like a magnet to you. Because they'll be like, damn, what? This guy did something. Like he's got a story, he's got aura. So does that make sense? Nobody really sees that side of the journey, the inner work. What is inner work? I mean, some of us need to literally cry on somebody's shoulder and talk about something that happened to us in our childhood that no one knows about to get that shit off our chest so then we can be good. That's inner work. And most people are not willing to do that. It's very uncomfortable. There's just high and low frequency states due to misalignment and true alignment. So I literally thought I was depressed, something was wrong with me. No, I was just in a low frequency. What's the frequency? Does anybody know what low frequency means? It just means shame, guilt, fear, apathy, grief. The worst emotions a human can feel. I lived there for a year, and no one knew it. And who was to blame for that? Yeah. And now that in the modern world, we label it with these words like depression, manic. Vic Blinn said in one of his videos, if you guys watch his interview with Big Sean, halfway through he announced like what he went through for a year. He said he has like a disorder, like manic depression disorder or something like that. These are just words that we label for a low frequency. And what was the 2 ways to get into flow state we said earlier? Working out, that's a simple way of saying it, peak physical performance. Fucking work out, man, it's so simple. And then be the source of what you seek. You do those 2 things, you will never be in a low frequency. You will never feel shame, guilt, grief, fear, all the low frequencies. I dropped everything completely. I'm not going to read this, but there's a book called Outwitting the Devil. That's the book that got me through this time by Napoleon Hill. If you guys are looking for a book that's powerful, that will take you from the bottom, worst time of your life, to the top, Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill. It's like the better version of Think and Grow Rich. So this is a video of me. I'm not going to play it, but I sold my barber chair, dropped barbering. I broke the rule. One of my clients was like, bro, that's the rule you don't break in business. You don't cut off the cash flowing business to start a new one. I was like, well, I'm not following business rules anymore, bro. I'm following my heart now. I couldn't cut a hair another day in my life. I was done because I had waited so long I felt the guilt, and it didn't matter what result I got. So it's not a crazy physique transformation, but the inner transformation, I was like night and day difference. I went all in, took better care of myself, and I started to find out what impact I could create. And a very weird thing happened with that previous 100K debt experience. This was incredible. It was actually the best thing that happened to me, because for so many years I feared, what if I go broke? I wanted money so bad. Growing up without money, I thought that would solve everything, because we just had food stamps, hand-me-down clothes, thrift stores. I was like, bro, if I get money, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. I got bullied in high school, so at the lunch table, that was the topic of the bullying. So it was like wired in my brain, if I make money, I'm going to prove to everybody. I'll shut them up. And that's like holding a hot coal in your hand. You're ready to throw it, but instead you're just burning your own hand. So for years, that was my life. And instead of a weight on my shoulder holding me back, that 100K helped me develop a fearless attitude when I realized my biggest nightmare didn't even kill me. So I broke my fear of poverty by going broke. When I looked at the bank, 100K in debt, okay, I'm still alive. Like, shit, now what? Like, damn, I'm alive. So that's why I'm okay with spending, like, piffing 40K for a new coach last week. Because I don't care. Like, what's the worst that happens? I'll go back to the last crib. I'll just downsize. I'll figure it out, you know? And I'm not afraid of that. I would love for everybody in this room to say the same, that you're not afraid to go broke. Like, to bet it all on the line. That's a way to get respect, man. If you see a guy walk in the room who's just not afraid to, like, put his big gorilla balls on the table, like, hey, what's up? All in, you know? I'm not half in. I respect that a lot. Okay, so we started making more money than ever before. Within a year, we got out of debt. And to be clear, I wasn't just the opportunity vehicle. We still coupled it with a lot of work. But it was apparent that I didn't have to wait till I was 30 or 40 or 50 to get out of the situation I found myself in. I woke up from the matrix with full control of my life. One that had all the fulfillment I always wanted, coupled with the unlimited earning potential that barbering never had. So my goal here is to give you all the tools you need to become as efficient as possible in both your personal and business life. More profit, fun, less stress, so you have time to do what you want. Sound good?